Okay, so this is a new video and it's talking about how people are afraid to read the legal tender laws that are right in front of them on their computer. They're simply too lazy. All you have to do is use the search engine and search for the Coinage Act of 1792 and the Coinage Act of 1965 and also the Executive Order of 1933. But 99% of YouTubers start talking about money for a few minutes or seconds, and they state incorrect and vague information in their definition of money. This is part of the problem. Merrill Jenkins has the truth and the facts better than anybody on planet Earth. The people end up talking about investing soon afterwards, the same as the economics books and the high school economics books. There's not a clear talk about the subject money. It's misleading and misconstrued, and it's not clear. So we're going to give an explanation that's clear about the subject money. The people never have read the legal tender law, so they make vague assumptions about the money. This is why most people say the incorrect information and just shrug it off and say, you know what I mean. Okay, I'd like you to read this information that I listed below. These three areas of information and stop acting like you don't have time to read it. This is absolute nonsense. All of us have a smartphone or a computer, and we're spending a lot of time on the internet, which is fine, but use some of it wisely. And I suggest you start reading the wording on my other YouTube videos that show the three different Federal Reserve notes that changed over time. You'll see from 1913 to the current Federal Reserve notes, and notice the wording has changed on each one of them. Read all of the paper money since the state banknotes in the 1800s, and that the Coinage Act of 1792, Section 20, is still the law. All of these paper money were referring to the Coinage Act of 1792. I want you to think about that. It states that the dollar is an expression of the money. The word dollar didn't suddenly change. The word dollar is not the money, and everybody thinks it is. Nobody's beaten the one accord case yet, and people are allowed to go along with this nonsense and brainwashing. And stop saying you make the money. We don't make money. This is more nonsense and more thinking that you're not a critical thinker. It's just shrugging your shoulders saying, oh, you know what I mean. We don't make the money. The Bureau of Printing and Engraving makes the money, and the Mint makes the coin. So stop being vague and unclear so we can understand what we're talking about. And also prove to me what law states a dollar is a Federal Reserve note. Because everybody thinks it's the same thing, and it's not. And I'll prove it to you in all my writings and Merrill Jenkins' writings too. You can't beat either of us. The two of us combined are smarter than anybody on this planet right now in history. To those people that say the printing of money, this is a bunch of nonsense. A lot of people are mentally lazy and they just say, well, you know what I mean. The printing of money, it's this blah, blah, blah. This is nonsense. We don't need to print any paper money right now. We could function, the entire economy could function without paper money. The phrase is misleading and misinformation for the average person who doesn't understand what's going on. So they watch the media and these economics people that are kind of smart. Let them get away with saying, well, the printing of money is the problem. That's not the problem. The legal tender laws are the problem, and the public doesn't understand this because they refuse to read them. The entire economy could function without one piece of paper, because all we're doing is changing numbers in the bankers' accounts, and we all have tech devices and smartphones. We're just changing the numbers in accounts. We're not sending money as numbers. This is complete nonsense. The paper money is only a reflection of or evidence of debt on the promissory note at all the entire banking system and at the Federal Reserve banks. Until you understand this, you don't understand what you're talking about. So go watch and read Merrill Jenkins' video. There's three videos on YouTube, and one is his book is The Money, the Greatest Hoax on Earth. Now, I want you to think about this. 100% of the Federal Reserve notes in existence that are circulating originated from the promissory note at the banks. Somebody somewhere had to first go to the bank and spend that money in the marketplace. It's all debt money. And until you understand that, you can't rebel. You can't have a conversation with these people that are tricksters and try to fool you in the media that just gives you a bunch of lies. You have to understand the money, as I'm saying it here, and also giving you Merrill Jenkins' information in small bits and pieces. So keep learning and learning and learning.